I'm Victoria from Victoria's Jukebox.
And I'm Sean, I want the one I can't have.
Welcome to episode 4 of PopJunkie TV.
And here's the news. Guaranteed tonight, no mention of Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Morrissey, Shed 7. First story tonight, ride the Led Zepp. A woman in South Carolina is paying $654, which is quite a lot of money, more than I can afford.
Worth it though.
To be the first person to ride the Led Zeppelin roller coaster.
I love it.
It's going to belt out a whole lot of love. You should ride the Led Zeppelin roller coaster. Apparently they were going to open a dinosaur theme park, which would be much more appropriate. We've got a new story about a miserable man from Manchester for a change.
Oh, for Christ's sake, we're going to go on about Morrissey again this week.
Not Morrissey. Probably the other greatest poet to come out of Manchester, as also very miserable. Marquis Smith.
Oh, that's good.
His autobiography's out very soon. Guardian have been serialising it, putting it on their blogs. Renegade, The Life and Times of Marquis Smith. It's a very amusing read. More news. It's a time for really crap album titles. Albums coming out with rubbish titles.
Right.
Coldplay's new album.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. Vida La Vida. Well, it's a Ricky Martin song, isn't it? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's
except
out.
for the Ricky Martin album will probably be good.
Well, I quite like Coldplay. All controversial,
Yeah, right.
but yeah, it's out on June 16th. It's not inspired by Ricky Martin. Well, it could be inspired by Love Man with a Quiff, but it's not. We won't talk about it anymore for that. We've had enough of that already.
No.
No,
But
it's
there's
actually,
another idiot out with an album this week, isn't there?
yeah. Mariah Carey.
Great.
E equals MC squared, which I thought was a big Audio Dynamite track from years ago. Turns out she hasn't got all physical on us and talked about Einstein and the theory of relativity, although I'm probably more interested in listening to her new album, to be fair. But it's actually an album, and it means the emancipation of Mimi to the power of two. Emancipation of Mimi was her last album that came out in 2005. She thinks, you know, it's better than that. I think it means it's probably twice as crap.
Yeah, I think it probably is too. Okay, so welcome to this week's festival news. Festival news, obviously there's one big story this week, isn't there, Sean?
What's that? Yeah, there is, yeah. Go for it.
Jay-Z at Glastonbury. So, I'm not very happy about it, and I was delighted that good old Noel Gallagher come and stood up for us all this week and said Jay-Z's got no bloody place at Glastonbury. And do you know what? 100% agree. What the hell is a hip-hop act doing at Glastonbury? You do not see Belle and Sebastian going headlining some urban hip-hop festival.
You don't know. I would like to see it though, it'd be quite interesting.
So why is Jay-Z at Glastonbury? What I'm calling for is a complete boycott of the Pyramid stage when Jay-Z is headlining. So I'm going to set up a Facebook group and we should all blooming well do it. And Noel, if you agree with me, get in contact and let's get this thing on the road. So we've got some new headline acts for this year's festivals. Love Music, Hate Racism. April 27th, Victoria Park. The Good, the Bad and the Queen are headlining. That's Damon Albarn's sort of side project.
Very good.
With
Great
the guy
album.
from The Clash. Hardfire also playing,
Good
and
band as well.
Helsinki. So we've got Iggy and the Stooges are headlining at this year's Get Loaded in the Park, which is August the 27th in Clapham.
Have you seen him before?
I have, yeah. I saw him at Benny Cassim in Glastonbury last year and invaded the stage and everything. It's brilliant.
I've seen, yeah, something like the White Festival a few years ago. Really good. Scared lots of middle class families to death, which has got to be a good thing.
Yeah,
Who
always
else is
a good
playing?
thing.
Who else is playing?
We've got Gogol Bordello, Supergrass, Milo, Soul Wax DJ Sessions, Kate Nash. So it's kind of a bit of a good mix really. It's the apparently definitive inner city festival. So the crazy, mad, bad Grace Jones is headlining Secret Garden Festival in July.
That should be good.
What do you reckon of that?
I quite like Grace Jones. She scares me though. And isn't that James Bond film with Roger Moore? The worst sex scene ever committed to celluloid.
Yeah,
Ooh.
she is very, very scary. But then, so on right at the other end of the scale, the lovely Lemonheads are playing at the Truck Festival, which is got its name because the main stage used to be two trucks lined up together. And that's
How
what it's
original.
called.
Blimey.
Yeah, I'm always getting people telling me, you should go check out this band, you should go check out this band. Well, one that keeps coming up is the Triffids, sort of based out of Perth in the late 80s. So they've reissued 3 of their classic albums, and the one I had a look at this week is Black Swan.
Okay.
Do you know the Triffids?
I do, yeah. I do know the Triffids, yeah. Good indie band.
Yeah,
Cult
yeah.
band, all cult band.
Yeah, real cult band. So basically, kicks off with a track called Too Hot to Move, which is sort of classic indie. You can imagine them in the outback in Australia in the boiling hot sunshine. Gets a bit more interesting as you move into the album. So Falling Over You is real sort of Pet Shop Boys inspired.
I like Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, no, it's got. I'm a massive Pet Shop Boys fan, so I
We're
really
agreeing, we
appreciate
can't have that.
Yeah, I know, shocking. And then it kind of gets sort of a bit melancholy, really. There's a wicked song called The Clown Prince, which is about this guy who, you know, is trying to break out of his dead-end crap job.
I'm feeling it, sister, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. And then it closes with Fairy Tale Love, which is a really bleak song. It's quite a sad, sparse tune, sort of foretelling the end of the Triffids, I guess. No albums for 10 years, and then the sad death of their lead singer and songwriter, Dave McComb. So yeah, go check it out. Sometimes it's good to look back.
Next album I've been listening to very, very good debut album. I like it. By the, got to get this right, the Courteeners.
Yes, not the Courteeners as everybody else seems to be bloody calling them.
I was calling that, and I thought that sounded a bit more elegant and a bit more Smithsy, but they're called the Courteeners, and
I think it's very cool now.
I can't drive. What would I know? No, I really like it. I think it's not original. It sounds a bit like the Smiths. Oh, wonder why I like it. Also sounds a lot like Arctic Monkeys. It's got a bit of Libertines thing going on there as well. It's a really good record. It's called St Jude. It's done really well. It's just come out. The new single, You're Not 19 Forever, which is a great title. You're not 19, are you? Well, not forever anyway. I've got to read a line from this song. It's it's very, very Smithsy, right? Get your hand off my thigh. In the car she turned to me and said, you're not 19 forever, pull yourself together. Reminds me of my childhood. They're taking the Smiths thing a bit too far. It's produced by Stephen Street, who produced the Blur albums, done loads and loads of stuff. The other single that came out, What Took You So Long? No one's ever said that to me.
No, I doubt they have.
No, they haven't. No. 2 minutes. That's time for a drink and a cigarette. It mentions Morrissey, the song, which has got to be good, and it also name checks the post office, which has got to be a good thing as well. So, but it's very kind of the lyrics are all very Arctic Monkeys. That's about living in Manchester, snogging girls, taking drugs. It's not very original, but there's lots of
it's still good.
There's a really good track called Fallowfield Hillbilly, which is anti-fashionista rant, which is really good as well.
Bit
it's
like Fake Tales of San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sturdy debut. Yeah, it's not going to set the world on fire, but I'd recommend it. Yeah.
Cool.
Check it out.
Okay, so I've got up next the debut album from Blood Red Shoes, Box of Secrets.
You've got white shoes on there this evening.
No, I know.
You're the girl my mother warned me about.
So basically, Blood Red Shoes, it's kind of a weird one. They've been going on for about 3 years now. Well, it's 3 years since their first EP, Victory for the Magpie. So kind of like feels really, really overdue, I guess. So it's Laura Mary Carter and Stephen Ansell.
They're from Brighton, I think they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're from Brighton. It's real angsty politico rock. It's very, very angry, very, very aggressive. It's kind of like a bit Fugazi kind of thing. Sort of like the White Stripes meet Fugazi, I guess. My 3 top tunes on the album are It's Getting Boring by the Sea, which you just feel the frustration of living in a crap town, basically.
Well, they live in Brighton, that can be boring in Brighton.
Well,
maybe it's about Worthing or something.
Being a southerner, I kind of appreciate hearing about the south as opposed to just moaning about Manchester all the time. You Bring Me Down is a real riotous track. She sounds well like Karen O actually on that. And then it finishes with I Can't Concentrate on Anything at All, which is just mental. It's just craziness. The only sort of, I guess, criticism I've got is that when you're that passionate and you're going that crazy on every song, it's sometimes the songs are a bit too long. It just goes on a bit. So I reckon that kind of punky, mad music needs to be a couple of minutes, So apart from that, it's a wicked album, I reckon. It's long overdue. Let's see what they do next, I guess.
Last album review. It's an album I've been waiting a long time for. Got very excited about it. It's kind of my thing. It's The Last Shadow Puppets.
Yeah.
Age of the Understatement. Do you know much about Last Shadow Puppets?
Well, it's Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys.
It is, and it's Mars Kane. Who are the Rascals? Never heard of them.
I think they're just mates with Arctic
I think they're from Liverpool.
Yeah.
The two of them, the 2 frontmen, basically gone off and they've recorded an album. It's a bit self-indulgent. They've done it in France.
Yeah.
They've done it with Owen Pallett, who is the guy who does all the string arrangements for Arcade Fire.
Right, okay.
They've made this album. It sounds really like a cross between Arctic Monkeys, Scott Walker, David Bowie, David Axelrod, swinging 60s kind of Carnaby Street, King's Road thing going on. You might have heard the single.
It's very British, isn't it?
It's very British. It's very epic in a kind of like a cinematic thing.
Yeah, no, totally James Bond-esque.
Very James Bond. That's why I like it. It's a concept album really about a girl and breaking up in a relationship, and epic strings, very orchestral. There's a track. It's called My Mistakes Were Made for You. Sounds like it's been inspired by The Windmills of Your Mind, which is a great song by Noel Harrison. Was the soundtrack to the Steve McQueen film Windmills of Your Mind. They've also been listening to a lot of 60s cinema, John Barry, that kind of thing.
I think it's actually based on the breakup of his ex-girlfriend Alex Turner. I think it was
before Alexa Chung.
Yeah.
See, I'm down with the kids. I know about that. They played their first ever gig, which was in front of Jules Holland's audience. That's going to be on TV soon. So I think they're going to be. I think it would do really well. I like it. It's different.
Cool. And we've got the video to the latest single, which is called...
It's actually the same title as the album. It's actually called Age of the Understatement.
Okay, and it's very, very, very James Bond, isn't it? It's very, very cool, very hyper-stylised, set in Russia, nice hot...
It's got an ice skater in it.
Yeah, ice skater doing
and singing soldiers and a tank.
Yeah, pretty good, so we're going to check out a few seconds of it now.
To sneak off away from your stomach and try your pulse and capture what seemed all unknowing and candid, but they suspected it was false.